Okay, folks, well, let's dive straight into it. This webinar is about task 2.5, 2.6, and 2.7. So get ready to write, get ready to think, and have your internet primed and ready to go as we attack this section of the design cluster as part of your TAE22 here, folks. Let's jump into it. So part A here, it says list one of the units that you think Julie is required to complete in order to equip her for the new role of admin assistant. Okay, so up till now, we've been having a look at her role that she's going into. We picked out the certificate 3 in business. We picked out these core units, and we even looked at the elective units that she can do. And how do we do that? Well, we went through the website and we looked at the certificate 3 in business. And if you're not sure how to find this, simply go to Google and type in certificate 3 in business space training.gov.au and you'll be able to find it. Okay, so now let's come to the next question. In 2.5 here, it says list one of the units that you think Julie's required to complete in order to equip her for the new role. Okay, so I've gone and I have looked at, let me just double check I've got the right document showing up here. Excellent. So I just want to make sure I got the right document showing up. And essentially, we have got task 2.5 here. I have suggested BSB TEC 302, design and produce spreadsheets. Okay. Now, you could choose any unit of competency. That's totally fine. That would address this, or as part of the electives that you've chosen, or even one of the core. That could be totally fine as we head into this section here. So, now, if we come down, let's come back to training.gov.au for a moment, and let's actually check out that unit, which is the, let's find the one that I was looking for, the design and produce spreadsheets. Design and produce spreadsheets. Let me double check that that's showing on the video there. So we get design and produce spreadsheets, and essentially, if we scroll down, we've got the elements of select and prepare resources, plan spreadsheet design, create spreadsheet, produce charts, finalize and present spreadsheets. Okay, so there's a bit going on there. Foundation skills, and then we got performance evidence, knowledge evidence, and assessment conditions. Okay, so if we check out the elements, so I'm going to come back to our document and let's check it out here. So we have the major components. So we've got the elements, then we've got the performance criteria. Okay, then we have the foundation skills. Okay, so those are the core items or the core sections from a unit of competency. Now, this answer, we're going to relate back to the unit of competency that we've chosen here. So purpose of each component, elements, the elements tell us the steps to do the task. In this case, it relates to building spreadsheets, and there are 5 elements in this unit. Those elements are, and then what you can actually do is list the element names. Okay, so where would you go with those? Well, you'd come over to training.gov.au, look at that web page and check that out there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully that makes sense. So you could just list them in your answer there. So now let's come back. We got the performance criteria. Performance criteria. This tells the reader the steps to do the elements and what is included in the steps to achieve the outcome of building spreadsheets. Okay, so the performance criteria is the 1.1, the 2, 1.2, 1.3, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, all of that numbering section that you can see here on this page. Okay, so that's the performance criteria. And basically that's the expectations or the steps on how to do the elements. Okay. Now, for the next section, we've got the foundation skills. And as you can see here, it's the reading, writing, numeracy, teamwork side of things. And it's basically the survival skills that somebody would need in order to be able to do the task. Okay. So foundation skills, we could drop this in here and say, this is the basic survival communication skills, such as reading and writing. The foundation skills for this unit include, what have we got? Reading, writing, numeracy, and teamwork. Okay. This will make sure that the candidate can perform the skills and have the overall soft and hard skills to complete the task. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Basically, foundation skills, as we've said, it's the fundamentals of being able to read, write, do numbers, and communicate at the foundations level there. Okay, so now if we come down, we've got the assessment requirements. And let's come back to the unit that we've been looking at here with the building of spreadsheets. But you could certainly do this analysis on any unit that you choose at all. So the three key areas here that we've got are performance evidence, knowledge evidence, and assessment conditions. Okay. Now, in my answers or your answers, I really suggest that you make it specific to the unit as much as you can, but let's attack this part first. So performance evidence, and then we've got knowledge evidence, and then we have assessment conditions. Okay, so those are three core areas there. So now, as we come back to the unit and we have a look here, it says plan, design, and produce and finalize a spreadsheet on at least 4 occasions. Okay, there you go. And then, so I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to drop this into the document. So let's go with the performance evidence requires the candidate to do the following. This tells the assessor what physical evidence they must gather. Okay. So let me just pop that all in black there. That'll make it even easier to read if needed. Okay, so now let's check out the knowledge evidence. So I'm not going to copy and paste all of the information. You don't really need to at this stage for this question. We're basically just identifying the key things from the sections and the things that would really demonstrate to the reader, whoever reads your assessment, the assessor, is that you understand the core components of the unit here. So let's drop this in here, and actually I may just break it down into the first 3 parts here, and I might just say something to the effect of okay, the knowledge evidence tells us what knowledge the candidate would need in order to complete the task. Some examples could be the following from this unit. Okay, so there you go. So then we got the assessment conditions, and we can go ahead and let's check out what it says in the unit of competency here. But let me just first of all go back and make sure that we can see that section there. So we got the knowledge evidence that's been pasted in there, and I've got to be able to answer there for you. So knowledge evidence tells us what knowledge the candidate would need in order to complete the task. Some examples would be the following. Then performance evidence requires a candidate to do the following. So we've got that in there. All right. So coming down, we've now got the assessment conditions. All right, let's come down. It says the skills in this unit must be observed in a workplace or simulated environment where the conditions are typical of those in a working environment in this industry. This includes access to digital device, relevant legislation, codes of practice, relevant organized policies and procedures, workplace documentation, and all of that stuff there, all that information. So let's copy and paste some of that into our answer. And let's come back here and let's first of all start out with the statement. The assessment conditions tell the assessor under what conditions assessment must take place. In the case of this unit, it mentions some of the following. Okay. So that would be a great way to attack the question. It really shows your assessor that you know exactly what are the components of a unit of competency. So we've got the coming up, we got the elements, we got the performance criteria, and we got the foundation skills. And then the assessing area, we have the performance evidence, the knowledge evidence, and then you've got the assessment conditions. Okay. So now let's come down and check out 2.6 here, folks. Review the position description, training needs analysis, and packaging rules for the qualification. Suggests two ways that the qualification selection will assist Julie in performing the role of administration assistant. So this section here, really have a think about coming back up to the 7 electives that you chose for Julie and why you might have chosen those units there. So let's come down and say something to the effect of when I was selecting the electives, I focused mostly on her core needs of administration and communication skills. For that purpose, for her admin development, I chose the following units. And then you could list a couple of units there. And then you could say something to the effect of, for her communication skills, I chose the following units. Okay, and you can list them out. Now, you don't have to answer it specifically in that way, but basically what we're looking for there is 2 reasons, or I guess, what was the underlying driver of the electives that you actually chose. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense there for you for task 2.6. Okay, so coming down now, 2.7, referring once again to the position description and performance criteria. So we'll suggest one way the unit BSB CMM could be contextualized to make it more relevant for Julie's work role. Now, let's first of all, let's come to training.gov.au and let's check out what the unit BSB CMM 411 actually could be. So let's try typing in the code BSB CMM 411. And let's type this in here. And we have got the unit make presentations. So if we scroll down and we check out the elements, how many elements have we got here? We got plan presentation, we got deliver presentation, and review presentation. Okay, so in her case, she's going to be preparing them, delivering them, and reviewing them. So now let's come back to the answer section here, and we could say something to the effect of the unit, what was it, folks? It was make presentations. The unit make presentations will give her the skills and knowledge to be able to deliver presentations confidently. This could be contextualized to her workplace by using real estate information for potential new renters, new property listers or sellers, or sharing information with the team on the latest trends in property sales, all that kind of information. Basically, how are you going to weave in the real estate knowledge into her developing the skills for presenting and making presentations and delivering those presentations. So maybe you could speak to, maybe she's going to present at staff meetings, or maybe she's going to do a weekly wrap up, or maybe she's going to present information to her boss. Okay. So there's many different angles that you could attack it from. And basically, what kind of scenarios could you lay into that unit that would relate to a real estate situation there? So hopefully that's given you enough ideas to be able to address that question. Okay. So coming down, we've then got 2.8, but we're going to come to that in the next webinar. And so hopefully for now, you've got what you needed for 2.5, 2.6, and 2.7 there, and you are good to go. So 2.5, as I said, we picked out one unit. Now, you didn't have to use this unit that I've suggested here. You could pick out another unit, but the process that you go through will be very similar. Okay, and you're going to refer to the website training.gov.au and craft your answers there. All right. Fantastic. Or thank you so much for watching this webinar. As always, reach out if you need further help. But as I've said, with the design class stuff, feel free to put in any kind of justification. If you believe a particular thing, that's okay. Just put in your justification. There is not necessarily any completely right or wrong. And if you chose a different unit or a different qualification, that's fine. But make sure you justify and make sure it's relevant and applicable to Julie here and the real estate scenario. Thank you so much, team. And we look forward to supporting you on the next webinar.